Well, hello there. It's day 24, and as you can see, my surroundings have changed much for the better. I am clean. Oh my goodness, it was like wiping, a greasy countertop off. You just feel like you get this whole big layer of grease off. And so not only am I clean, but I'm at my parents' home, which for some reason that hospital stay made me quite claustrophobic or something. I'm not sure. Maybe it's really just not eating for 4 days because they really just didn't let me eat much. So I'm thankful that I'm eating again. So I've still got a ways to go, and I'm due for a pain pill. And I'm waiting till after this so that it would not set in and make me slur my words, because it can actually do that. My pills can. But I wanted to say something that was kind of on my heart. It was actually accentuated when I was talking to my dad tonight. Last night oh my gosh, the last couple of days, that was just a sinking feeling in the hospital. And I'm not normally given to all that sinking. And but of course there was a lot going on. But I was really struck after I made the video, and just sometimes I make these videos and I just feel like, oh my gosh, what am I even saying? Why am I doing this in the shape that I'm in? But it really struck me how I just really wanted to get my heart more right. It's like there's a negative narrative going on in my life, and I needed a positive narrative. And so I actually turned on TBN. I don't always do that. In fact, I rarely turn on TBN. I must say I'm a crime TV junkie. So when I go to TV, it's like I want to not think and clean the kitchen. That's like kind of how I do it. So, but I was watching TBN, and this really cool, I was listening to it. I was in a drugged haze listening to TBN. Lisa Harper, I think that's her name. She adopted a little girl from Haiti who had AIDS, and who's just doing remarkably well. She was a 50-year-old mom, and it's just a sweet, sweet story. And I just enjoyed that, I was battling this, crazy, heavy stuff, and there's just this other story of hope. And it was interesting because my dad tonight at dinner was telling me they'd just recently been on vacation, and they were out of the country in a Caribbean island, and ran into a woman on one of their first days who normally goes down there and stays a couple months. And she kind of gave this negative narrative about things that had been going on. The place had been hit recently by a hurricane, so a lot of what they were used to was not, the way it is. And the beach was changed. And she just went on, especially about the youth and gangs, and said, oh, it's so bad down here. But what was kind of cool is that the next day, Dad says, you wouldn't believe. The next day, he says, we go to this beach to go snorkeling, and he says, this guy comes outside my car window who's got tattoos, and he's a younger guy, and it's a little bit scary because I didn't know what to think, who this guy was. But it turned, the guy kind of comes up to Dad's car and, knocks on the window, and Dad rolls it down. He says, hey, you've got a flat tire. Basically, this young guy who seemed to epitomize all the negative that this woman was talking about came over and showed my parents that they needed a new tire. And not only did he change it and not charge them any exorbitant fee, just kind of took whatever he could give them. They were able to have this long talk about how the guy is trying to get to the Netherlands to work there in a refugee camp for 5 years. And, a nice young man, I think he'd come out of Venezuela trying to find his way. So it was such a stark reminder of how you can see the world. There's this negative narrative, the bad things going on, and then there's this just really sweet narrative of, what sometimes we get to run into. Sometimes we have to hear it. Last night it helped me to just hear it and to expose myself to it, because I needed the sweet narrative to kind of help override where I was. But I've just been thinking about that today, just how clear the negative always is. Oh, there's so much negative, and making sure that we really balance it or even override it with the positive narrative. And today I have to say I am so thankful to be in this home. And we've got a really lazy week ahead. I, of course, will just be healing a lot. But, oh my gosh, the one thing that's happened over the last couple of years is just a thankfulness for the simple, for a bed that's comfortable, for hot water, for shampoo, for my parents who put up with this and help me. They tend to be where I go for about a week or 10 days after surgery. It's just really a blessing that they'll help me. And so my mom just dithers on me and cooks food, and it's just, I just realize I've got days ahead of just kind of laying around and being here, but how absolutely blessed I am to be in this place, and to have a lot of people around me to help add to the positive narrative. So I don't know what you're going through. I don't. I know that we're all going through stuff, and my hope and prayer for you, especially as we're starting Thanksgiving week and the holidays and stuff, we all have these expectations, things we want, things we hope for, moments we want with kids, moments we want, with family, or maybe we don't want with family, but we have to put up with. Gosh, I'm just praying that God will help you find that positive narrative that balances out any negative that you feel, because the goal is that our hearts are set on Him, so that we ride through this stuff and we stay in that place with Him. That is the goal. That is what He wants. And that's what He really offers us. I mean, He really does offer it. It's just sometimes we have to choose to turn and expose ourselves to that more positive place. And that takes a choice that sometimes we don't even recognize we're not making. It's like it's easy to just be comfortable with almost like a status quo type of thinking, not turn towards the true genuineness of thanks for what we have. And just right here in this country, there's so much going on about what we don't have. And again, maybe I'm just extra blessed because I do have health insurance, and I have things that help stabilize my life. But for those who tend to focus more on what we don't have here, I really hope that this week becomes a week and a time that we focus on the beauty of what we have in this area. There is a lot of good. Just keep looking for that and holding on for that as we walk into this Thanksgiving week. All right, with that, I have to say I'm really excited to go take my oxycodone and just kind of wipe out whatever remaining pain. I've been trying to wean it off this afternoon, and I'm ready for the higher dose, which will take me to La La Land. But I hope y'all have a great evening. And again, I'm just always honored that you stick with me and listen and comment. And my hair is clean. It's the simple things. All right. Have a great evening. Bye.